There's a lot to go in to a relationship that we can only learn from being in one, right? It's like when you grow up and you never had a boyfriend or girlfriend before, you don't know anything about anything other than what you observe from other people, right? You can take glimpses of other people's relationships that you have privilege to be part of and understand the goods and the bads and whatever it is they show you. But there's only certain things that you can learn from being in a relationship, right? And those things are so crucial because they help you learn more about yourself. And it's this interesting kind of like feedback loop of you have your individuality, and then you have the individuality you are when you are single, and you have the individuality that you have when you are in a relationship. And although you are the same person in both, things change. It's kind of this interesting pathway where you grow as an individual when you're single because you have different opportunities and different challenges and different limitations than you do when you're in a relationship where you have, again, different challenges, opportunities, and limitations. And so the growth patterns are different, right? And so there's only so many things you can learn while being single, and there's only so many things you can learn while being in a relationship. So for those of you in a long-term relationship, I want to go a little bit further into this is more for people who feel like they are, I guess for lack of better words, sitting in camouflage complacency, like where everything is comfortable, life seems good, but you feel this kind of chip on your shoulder, this cognitive dissonance of something and something are not aligning, something and something are not matching, and kind of struggling to figure out what that is. Well, one thing I've learned through my relationships is that when we have this sense of individuality, like the center of it, and we grew all this time as individuals, as a single person, then we get to that point where we start craving being in a relationship. Hopefully it's for the right reasons, because you feel ready, you feel able, and you feel willing to give your time to someone else. And so you embark on this kind of journey of dating, and you meet someone that matches your vibe, hopefully, and that you guys can have meaningful conversations with and fulfilling days every time you guys are together. And sometimes as we grow through those relationships, we hit bumps in the road and challenges and all the normal stuff. And we get to a point where, again, we reach this point of camouflage complacency, where we feel like we've been with this person for a while, nothing's really wrong, we don't really argue, but something inside you still feels off. How do we manage that? How do we navigate this feeling? Because it becomes increasingly harder when you get closer and closer to someone to talk to them about things that you have a fear of hurting them or a fear of being hurt when you open up certain things. I call it like this 1%. 1% of things. Like you tell 99% of everything to your partner, but there's this 1% that you may not tell them because you don't want to hurt them or hurt you or hurt your relationship, or you don't want to lose or anything bad to happen because you say these words. And everyone's words, everyone's 1% is different because we all live different lives. But the feeling is the same. We're all human beings, so emotion is the same of like, oh, I gotta talk about this. The best way to go about this is to, well, first off, don't hold it in. And second of all, don't just blurt it out, that 1% to your partner until you know you're ready. So it's a simple fix, and it's one that has to take intentional and purposeful time to do, and that is to speak it out and to share that with someone else that you trust. Someone that you trust. Like seriously, be mindful of who you keep in your inner circle. It's kind of a side tangent, but be mindful you keep in your inner circle. Keep people you know you can trust, that you can confide in, that are always there for you no matter what you say, simply because they care, and they're not going to judge you for your thoughts. They're going to listen and do their best to reflect and give back to you what their perspective and insight is in a healthy and constructive way. So finding people like that, so you can open up to and share that 1% with, so they can talk it through, that's the hardest part.